really quickly before we get into this, if I sound awful at the beginning, I'm sorry. I got really sick. I don't know why I'm always sick, but apparently I am. So, sorry, but let's get right into it. Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Dark Souls 1. This is the third part of our fist run, where we are beating every single boss with fist weapon types, along with collecting all of them. And I do believe this is going to be the part where we actually finish collecting the final two that we need. But before we do that, we need to go get something. So, off we go. So starting off by going down to the bottom of Undead Bird, where Hovel is, we decided we should probably take him out, Data's Ring, because we can't use the Black Iron set without it, so let's see how far we can go with it. Now this is probably going to be the last instance of us using Poison Mist, because yeah, it's part of our arsenal, and we made it so, but I believe I said before that I don't want to make it part of the main thing for this run. And so I'm probably going to be dropping it after this. Now, after the catastrophe that was the extremely scuffed last part, I decided to have some fun and just goof around a bit with the Owls fight, since this was my first thing going in. And you can see how well that went. So I decided to actually take this fight seriously. Now, I think it's important to admit when you're wrong or when you changed your opinion. And Hovel's fight is definitely one of the fights where I've changed my outlook on things. Because early on, I really didn't like the fight because you needed to roll diagonally, but in Dark Souls 1 you can't roll diagonally while locked on. But having gone through the fight multiple times, it's a lot more enjoyable now that I've gotten used to the movement, and also now that I'm playing on controller, and so I'm not stuck with WASD. And so the fight's a lot more enjoyable. I like it a lot more. Except for when his AI breaks and he decides to not attack you and just chase you around. That's not fun, but for everything else it's fun. But with that, we got Hovel's Ring, and hopefully that'll help us with equip load. So, after getting back to Firelink and then sitting down to respawn here, we decided to equip Hovel's Ring in order to test out how much we could use with it. So we decided to put on the full Black Iron set and start from there, which obviously we can't do the whole set, so we decided to do a little bit of experimenting. Taking out the helmet, can't do that. Taking out the chest piece, can't do that. But if we take off the chest piece and the gauntlets, we can. Which, that's fine. I actually prefer the leather chest piece. And alright, so we can squeeze a bit more. Good. Now, just like the chest piece, I also prefer the thief mask over the Black Iron helm. It just looks better, it fits better. So I'd prefer having the top half be the leather and the bottom half be the iron. But can't do that, so we'll need to get a few more points into endurance first. And the next order of business is to go down to New Londo Ruins, because there holds the very large ember, which will allow us to get a crucial damage increase. Since if you've been following this run up to this point, our damage has been mediocre at best. So we decided to go for that next. And clowning on this guy is the first order of business here, because he spent the entire game up to this point just moping around, pretending like it's hopeless. And right when we're about to get good, he tries to stop us. And then we cry and mope ourselves because that took 3 swings to kill these things instead of the normal 2 to 1. But we get better healing with the Firekeeper Soul. And alright, time to pick up all those good items. Wait, but tragic. Absolutely tragic. And because we have the Lord Vessel, we can get the key to the seal. And using the key to the seal, we open up the door to the lever, which will get us access to the lower part of the New Londo Ruins. Which, again, because of our mediocre damage, we are definitely not going to be fighting the 4 Kings just yet. We're purely here to get the very large ember, and then hopefully get some Titanite chunks and some souls to help increase our damage. But we also have to remember that I have a lightweight 0 poise armor set that's only at +3. So I'm gonna have to be very careful. Because 1, maybe 2 mistakes can get us killed here. But we seem to be doing alright. Not great, but alright. And we got a Titanite chunk. That'll be very helpful for increasing our damage. And a soul. And at this point, a couple of good parries got us a little overconfident. Which overconfidence breeds arrogance, and arrogance mixed with low defense got us killed. Mission failed. We'll get him next time. And after getting back to this point, I decided to backstab the Dark Wraith, grab our souls, and then backstab again, because a parry and a backstab killed. However, 2 backstabs just not. But got rid of this guy, and yeah, we got the attention of the big one-time blob thing. But after killing them, we got up and got ourselves the very large ember. Again, crucial, because this will allow us to get our claw from +10 to +15, which is going to be a major damage increase. Now, at this point, I decided we got rid of that one-time enemy. It's a bit safer to keep going forward, so we decided to keep going. But this time, playing with a bit more caution. Because, while we did get rid of that one-time enemy, we're still only 1 to 2 mistakes away from dying. So, don't rush it. Take it slow. Only parry if you're confident. But progress and souls. So, and after bringing down another Dark Wraith, we decided to sip our last Estus and grab a Titanite chunk. Great. Good for more damage. And the Dark Hand. The 3rd of 4 fists this run, which means we only have 1 more to go. And this is great because it's the only one we had to farm. But we got it pretty quickly, pretty easily. And after picking up another Titanite chunk, we decided that even though we have no Estus, we're going to let the arrogance seep in. But we're not going to be too greedy. And after getting pushed a bit and forgetting that you can't roll diagonally in this game, I decided best to back up and play a bit more cautiously, since this is the last enemy of the area, and you really don't want to die to the last enemy on the area. And I was trying to bait out the running thrust attack since that's the easiest to parry, but since he wasn't doing it, we decided to just break his AI and get a second backstab in. And that allowed us to get one final Titanite chunk. Wonderful news. Yeah. Ow. My head itches. I like to imagine that my character is making full use of the claws to really scratch that itch. Come on. Almost there. And boosh. I think it's an improvement. Hey.
Well, now, you're just
I
like
am.
me. Your dedication is
Thank
fully
you.
apparent.
Thank you.
Only, well, your head looks
Hey, it's an
awful.
improvement.
Why not try
It
this?
is
I've
an
no use for it any
improvement.
longer.
And egg firmifuge. So if you're wondering what just happened there,
What is it that you need?
this is part of like a, I don't know if you can call it a quest, but part of a thing that allows that person to sell you some pyromancies. Now there I'm just showing you that I can use my souls to get 3 levels, but instead I'm going to use it to buy Toxic Mist, which is a much better version of Poison Mist, because I'm not using this pyromancy often, but when I am using it, I'd like it to be potent. Even though, like I said, I'm not going to be using it much, and I almost entirely got this honestly just for farming, and then I use that to get our normal not improvement face back. Now, if you look at this guy, the weapon he's wielding is a great mace, but he can drop a great axe or a great sword, but not a great mace. It's very, very strange. But large Titanite shard, need that for the armor. And after farming a bunch of large Titanite shards, we found that we can now get 4 levels. Now we could only get 3 before, so that's what I'm going with. And they're all going into endurance. So I decided, let's check out the Hovel's Ring and see if we can now put on the pants and the gloves, which we can. So now with Hovel's Ring and that extra endurance, we can have the top half of our set be leather and the bottom half of our set be iron. And then going over to the giant, we decided that we're going to, with some of those large Titanite shards, upgrade our Saestis from +8 to +10. That will allow us to modify it into the Dragonbone Fist, a strength-based fist. And so we do that, and while we are going into deck, so we can't use that this run, that now gives us the Saestis, the Dragonbone Fist, the Claw, and the Dark Hand. The 4 fists of Dark Souls 1, fully completed. So that's why we bought a second Saestis early on. And then I decided probably good to upgrade the armor. And I had 2 Twinkling Titanite. So I decided to upgrade the pants because they give more than the gauntlets. And I was gonna think about upgrading the pants again, but I wanted to keep it even, so upgraded the gauntlets once as well. And then with the large Titanite shards, we decided to get the top half of the black leather set all the way up to +6. Not as good as it can be, but this is definitely going to be a big improvement to our defense, both in terms of defense and poise, which should go a long way to helping us survive. Now, we went back to Undeadburg and Undead Parish and killed 2 Black Knights, which got us a couple extra Titanite chunks, and then we came back to Andre and gave him the very large ember, and then decided to upgrade our claw from plus 10 to plus 15, which is going to max out our damage in terms of upgrades, but we can still get it a bit higher with levels. And now, at this point, I had actually gotten some Titanite shards from grinding the large Titanite shards, and I was looking at the target shield going, we're almost halfway through the game, but I've never upgraded this. So, why not? I mean, it's not going to upgrade our defense, like reduction, but it will upgrade the stability. Which, yeah, we're not really using this thing to shield, but in case we try to parry and miss, like mistime it, hopefully this will help. At least a little bit. And then we had the large Titanite shards to get it all the way up to plus 10. Because, hey, why not? And yeah, we kind of dropped the East-West shield, but we don't have it on any other run, so oh well. And because of those few extra Titanite chunks we got from the Black Knights, we decided to upgrade these. And then going down back into Blighttown, we decided to pop all of our humanity. Now, we may have had to kill an NPC or two to get to 30, but we're not going to talk about that. Now, at this point, we're going to join this covenant. Not because we really want anything from it in itself, but it does give us great Chaos Fireball, and offering 30 humanity will allow us to skip 2 bosses. Now, we're not going to skip them fully, we're going to stay, at least to eventually kill them, but it'll allow us a shortcut in order to hopefully keep Solaire alive. And then we also got another Pyromancy and cashed in our Firekeeper soul. Now, things got a little weird later on, but hopefully we can keep Solaire alive. Very easy boss, but I mean, basically free 20k, but considering how scuffed the next fight is going to be and how awful it is, I'll take a free 20k. And nope. And here's where we decided to have our first employment of Toxic Mist, because these things have very good damage, speed, and range, which fists have speed, but neither of the other two. And that was the longest minute and a half of my life. The sounds those things make are disgusting. But we sat down, and while running over here, this is when I remembered, oh yeah, I didn't show the equipment for Ceaseless Discharge. Not that it matters, but Claw plus 15, Target Shield plus 10, Pyromancy Flame, top of the Black Leather set plus 7, bottom of the Black Iron set +1, along with Hovel's Ring and Chloranthy Ring. And then we decided to come back and level up, and decided to put 1 level into Endurance. Now I was very close to a 2nd level, so I decided, we can pop a few souls. And while it took 1 more than I wanted to, I should have used 1 there and then one under it. But oh well, it's only 1,000. It's not that big of a deal. What's more big of a deal is we got it. And we didn't lose like 13k. And I was looking between Endurance, Dex, and Vitality. In the end, decided to go with Health because Health is good. And running to the right of the Demon Fire Sage, we can open this prematurely because of the 30 humanity that we gave to the Fair Lady. Which, these are the things that kill, quote-unquote, Solaire, or make him go hollow. So, killed this one, felt pretty good about that. And then, moving forward, we killed this thing, which got us an extra 2 Twinkling Titanite. And I decided I'm gonna kill the rest just to be safe. Now, I'm not going to show the entirety of every one of these fights, because I think this is the most I've ever died to Bed of Chaos so far. Which, I will say, this is the one boss where I die to them, and my first instinct is to just go BS. Every other boss, when I die to it, my first instinct is, alright, what did I do? Except, there's usually not even a question there. It's just, I already know what I did wrong. This is the only boss that isn't like that. And I feel like they're just a very, very poorly done gimmick boss that does way too much damage and way too much knockback. But second death, they do a lot of damage. Third death, the run back lasted longer than the fight itself. And fourth death, the knockback is absolutely ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. And fifth attempt going in. Like I said, this is just a very poorly done gimmick boss, because the idea is supposed to be that the boss itself isn't really the threat. It's more so that they can just push you, and so it's gravity and the environment, I suppose, that's the threat. But look at that, +6 armor set along with +1 iron armor set. But this thing takes nearly half my health with a single swing. And so it does a lot of damage. It does a lot of knockback. It swings very often. It pushes you back super, super far. And you have to worry about gravity. Like, the thing for me is just, the boss would be fine if it just didn't knock you back like 10,000 miles every time it swung, and also have it swing like every second or two. Because seriously, it hits you, it knocks you back, you stand up heal because you have to heal because of the insane amount of damage it does. And then as soon as you get done healing, you pretty much need to instantly roll and also get lucky, because the sweep is basically an AoE. It covers so much space. It's one of the few attacks that I just have never figured out how to dodge. This boss isn't fun. Like, the only thing possibly going for this boss is the idea, but the idea is dragged down so much by the execution. And here you can see what I was using. But this might be the first boss in all of Soulsborne that I played that I would legitimately put in E tier. It's just that bad. And I took a break, then came back to the previous bonfire. And I had 3 levels, so I decided to put them all into Vitality. Now, I have this weird rule that the universe has put upon me, where every single run, I have to have one really bad boss fight. And it seems like this run, it was Bed of Chaos. Because it taking 5 attempts for a boss is not normal. Not for me, at least. And so... But going into the next boss, I'm basically guaranteed to win the next 1 to 2 boss fights after, for some reason. Now, again, I don't like the anime side slash explosion attack. And maybe that's just a holdover from when I was medium rolling and couldn't avoid it because the roll was too slow. But this boss basically just spammed this time. But because of the laws of the universe, even though I had a really bad RNG, I was still guaranteed to win. First try. And so, got done with that. Kinda happy that I was able to win so easily without even taking damage, despite the bad RNG. And none of this equipment has changed, so level 57, 29 vitality, 30 endurance, 26 dex, 10 resistance. So, yeah, pretty happy with that. And then, after lighting this bonfire, I decided to pop a humanity because, like I said, this run I want to save Solaire and summon him for every boss fight that I can. And I knew that you could summon him for this boss fight, so did that, and I decided to put 1 level into Vitality to get to an even 30. But when I went over, I couldn't summon Solaire, which, looking back now, is probably because I opened the shortcut, but I still found it very strange. But I decided to put on the Pyromancy Flame for Toxic Mist, just to see if it would do anything. And kind of bummed that Solaire wasn't here, because he makes this boss, at least this part of the boss fight, more bearable, because very diverse moveset. Just so many moves, I can hardly keep up with it. I don't know if Solaire actually makes them come closer sooner, but he makes it seem like it does. But anyways, they're gonna swap up tactics soon, so I'll just let this play itself out. Still bummed that I couldn't summon Solaire, but like I said, I think it's just because I open up the shortcut soon. Now, you know the equipment deal by now, but level 58, 30 vitality, 30 endurance, 9 strength, 26 dex, and 10 resistance. And a really nice 40,000 souls. And yeah, it took 2 Estus flasks. But I figured since we couldn't summon him, he was probably already up here. Just being a little sad that he can't find his son. Which, you know, tragic, but don't go looking underground for the sun, I suppose. Yeah, I was just looking at him like, why couldn't I summon you? But had 2 levels, decided to put both of them into dex so we could get our 3 main stats all at 30. Or as close as we could.
Why?
Because I like things being even, my man. Simple as that. But I'm not entirely sure, because this is my first time doing this, if he'll survive, but I hope he survives. And I was actually going to end it here, and then I saw we've only been doing this for like 32 minutes. I usually go for like 40, 50. So I figured, yeah, we can do 1 or 2 more bosses before ending today. And after going back to Andre, we bought the 3 Titanite shards that we needed to get the Saestus to +5, because our next destination is going to be the Catacombs, but in order to have a weapon that's useful against the skeletons, we need a divine weapon. So we needed to modify that. The only problem with that is we need 5 more green Titanite shards, so let's go grind those. And after grinding 25k to buy 5 more off of the Crestfallen Merchant, we can upgrade the Divine Saestus to +5. Can't get it to +10 until you get the large Divine Ember in the Tomb of the Giants. And since we're here and have the money, we got 2 Twinkling Titanite earlier, so decided to upgrade the Black Iron Leggings and Gauntlets to +2 each. And with that, we're ready for the Catacombs. And we can start off by checking our damage. So starting with the Claw, 2 shot. Alright, that's pretty good. And then 5 hits with the Saestus. That's not good. It's not good at all, but we'll make it work. I mean, these are pretty easy enemies, so it shouldn't be too bad. Ah, what a nice day. Oh, hello, Mr. Skeleton. How are you? Oh, that's a lot of damage for a short fall. Are you okay? I'll take that as a yes. Alright. And then here we can say hello to Patches, because he's here again. And we're just gonna run past these 2 guys to fight the Undead Mage, and then come back to fight those skeletons with the high damage weapon. But they died to gravity. The strongest boss in all of Dark Souls. And we can run across the bridge that Patches opened up for us. And Patches? You killed the skeleton that was chasing me. So kind of you. Patches is a true friend. He gets a lot of flack, but come on, he's the best. We all know it. And we're just gonna run through, yoink the Dark Moon Seance Ring for the next part, because we are not fighting that giant skeleton with the Divine Saestus. Now with its damage. And we can put on the Sunlight Helmet, because this room is dark. And we're gonna go hang out with Nito. Now, turns out you need some Eye of Death, but thankfully past this guy, there are some, because we didn't have any. But we can yoink these, and then these guys are slow. There's no way he'll make it up to us. There's no way he'll catch up. We are totally safe. He's too slow. Come on, he only has like 1 leg. There's no way he's making it up to us. No way. Never gonna happen. See, he's just too far back. Wait, hold on. No, my guy, turn around, please, turn around. Well, I mean, there's no way he'll see us. It's not like we have a giant, like, come on, please. Oh, thank God. Oh, thank God. Ooh, we're safe. And we can pray to Nito and accept them as one of the best bosses in the base game and get their sword. Not gonna use it, though. But after being gifted this sword, we can leave. And wait, hold on. No, please, I'll do anything. I'm not panicking, you're panicking. Come on, there's no reason to panic. We had everything under control. Totally fine. It's totally fine. And there are 2 breakable floors down here. I thought they went to the same place. They did not. Hi. Hello. And swing and a miss. And then after taking him down, we get a white Titanite chunk. That's useless, by the way. And after running through the entirety of the Bone Wheel skeleton theme, I watched it fast forwarded, and I was just imagining the Benny Hill theme playing, and it was hilarious to me. I don't know why. If I was better at editing, I would show it to you. But I don't know how to do that. At least not yet. Maybe someday. Maybe someday we'll learn how to do that. But this is Pinwheel. They're Pinwheel. What more can I say? I'll let this play out. And Pinwheel goes down. Again. I don't know what to tell you. It's Pinwheel. It's just... It's Pinwheel. But... Claw plus 15, Thief Mask plus 7, Black Leather Armor plus 7, Black Iron Gauntlets plus 2, Black Iron Leggings plus 2, Hovel's Ring, Wolf Ring, 1 Estus, and at level 60 with 30 Vitality, 30 Endurance, 9 Strength, 28 Dexterity, and 10 Resistance. And after being kicked down to the hole by Patches, we pick up a few items, most importantly the Skull Lantern, which is very important. And then we go back to Firelink and sit down to be picked up by the Crow to head off to the Northern Undead Asylum, where we can drop ourselves a Skull Lantern, and then exit the game, because exiting the game fully resets the area. Where we can then skip their dialogue and pick up the Ring of Fog. I don't know why this was not used in later games. It's one of my favorite rings. It's honestly amazing. I'm sorry if there's someone dying in the background. I literally can't stop it. He's just going to have to die. But I realized we were close to a level, so I decided to pop some souls and then level up Dexterity, which gives us 30 Vitality, 30 Endurance, and 30 Dexterity. And then with the Slumbering Dragon Crest Ring and the Ring of Fog, we decide to go down to where the large Divine Ember is. And this took quite a bit of waiting, so I'm not going to show all of it. But I did experiment a tiny bit, just a tiny bit. So I'm normally not big on consumable items, but I tried the Alluring Skulls. Didn't work. But after a decent bit of waiting, all the enemies de-aggroed, and I dropped down to pick up the large Divine Ember. And with a lucky whiff from the enemies, and then a little panic because the game defaults to no for some reason, we got back with the large Divine Ember alive. And then after going and talking to Andre, we gave him the Ember, and hey look, the White Titanite chunk was actually useful for something. We don't have the souls for it though. And it's not going to give us a big increase in damage, and it's only useful for that one specific area, but it was useful. So, can't deny that. And after getting the souls, increasing it to +6, we decide to just keep on going. And here I made a bunch of mistakes. Like waiting for that enemy to catch up for some reason, and then forgetting where I was going. And these enemies do a ton of damage. Like, it's a lot. But after coming back and remembering where to go, we decided to run up and grab ourselves the Silver Serpent Ring. And then, just because we can, we decided to exit out, because that resets enemy positions. And so, no more enemies chasing after us, which was very nice. And I just really wanted to make sure because of how they essentially one-shot me. But then we go back and we get the bonfire. And because they killed us, no invasion from Leroy, which means no Healy Shield, but we're not going to use it anyways. And then 2 Twinkling Titanite, which is good for our armor, and 2 White Titanite chunks, good for the Divine Cestus. But we're not going to go do that yet. But we will grab the White Titanite slab. Again, not useful just yet, but why not? And then we go off into the boss room. And thankfully, it doesn't automatically aggro the boss, but unthankfully, you have to drop down and take a decent chunk of damage. And I was thinking about putting on the Hovel's Ring again, but I decided to stick with the setup and decided to go down, where it will be a painful, like, that is a massive chunk of damage. But something very strange happened here. None of the skeletons aggroed. Normally 3 small skeletons aggro, but I guess the combination of the 2 stealth rings together stopped them. Although, unless I'm mistaken, I think I've done this ring setup before, but they still aggroed on. So, I don't know. Just a little weird, but nice to be able to fight Nito one-on-one without the additional small skeletons. Because the small skeletons mixed with Nito just spamming the scream attack is my only real complaint about this boss. So, nice to not have to deal with that, but I will let the rest of this fight play out. Gravelord Nito falls. Without the 3 skeletons, like the 3 small ones, just roll spamming you, and Nito spamming the scream attack, without that, they're a very, very enjoyable fight. Honestly, one of the best in the game. But Claw plus 15, Thief Mask plus 7, Black Leather Armor plus 3, Black Leather Gloves plus 3, Black Leather Boots plus 3, Slumbering Dragon Crest Ring, Ring of Fog. The armor was plus 7, I'm sorry. And if you want to count the 1 Estus that we drank from the fall damage coming in, you can. If you don't, because we took no damage, fine. Either way, level 62, 30 Vitality, 30 Endurance, 9 Strength, 30 Dexterity, and 10 Resistance. And with that, we decide to restore our humanity, and I think it's about time to end. We got a lot of progress in. There's only, I think, 12 bosses left, I believe. And with that, we can take a bow to an honorable opponent. A great way to end it off. It felt good. It was a really nice one-on-one fight. But with that, I will see you in the next one. Yeah.